Well, good morning, ladies. How are you doing? Did you enjoy your coffee break? Yeah? Well, we're so excited about this session. We're calling it our Sisterhood Talk. Are you girls ready to talk a little bit this morning and lean in? Before we get into that, I just want to draw attention to the video you just saw. So as our guests this weekend, we have Community Alternatives to Violence set up in the lobby area. I would encourage you to stop by and visit. Hey girls, you're in the back, I know. Wave at me, they're back there. Amanda, I see her, and I know Carolyn, I think, was back there. Awesome ladies. This is an amazing organization that we've been partnering with this weekend, and they're doing amazing work to put an end to violence in this community. And one of their greatest needs, surprisingly, we found out, was just getting the people who need the help to the program. And so if you're looking for a simple way you could do an act of kindness, if before tonight's session you want to slip by a convenience store and pick up a $10 gas card, that's something that they can give to the people who need this service, and it allows them to get transportation. They also use bus passes and other things. Transportation is the key to getting these people to their organization and to the help that they have to give to them. So I would love it if you could just stop by there at some point, make a point to really find out what they're doing and how you can help them. They also need volunteers. So we're excited to have them with us. Thank you for being here, ladies. Yep.
So anyway, as promised, if you see Mary Beth and I like checking with each other, we're keeping each other like on track. But many of you might remember last night when I gave a little commercial that this is the day we're going to actually take this message of kindness plus wisdom and apply it practically in our homes. What does kindness plus wisdom look like in our workplaces? What does kindness plus wisdom look like in the community? So this is where the rubber meets the road, and we've invited these amazing women to be a part of a conversation that we hope to just offer suggestions of kindness and wisdom that will kind of make a difference, plant a seed here today. And so let's just get started.
Yeah, and I thought a lot of you ladies don't know the girls that we've invited here on the stage and who they are and maybe what they represent in our community, and it also will give you a little insight as to what they share with you today. So before we start our chat, we're going to just talk. We're just going to have a conversation at this cute little coffee table. I just want to introduce you. Is that okay if I introduce you to who's here with me on stage or with Pastor Beth and I? So this is Abby, and she is, a lot of you may know her. If you attend Airborne, you probably see her smiling face on Sundays. But what you might not know is that she is actually the Regional Examination Center Chief. She's a chief in Baltimore, Maryland for the United States Coast Guard. So she is very high in leadership in the United States Coast Guard and holds a very important position over a lot of people, has a lot of influence. And outside of work, she is just a good old coach. She coaches her kids. She coaches boys. She coaches the boys, man. Yes. She is not. She has two young boys, she and Aaron, and they are very involved in coaching in the community, and such a great addition to our panel today. So Abby, that's just a little bit about her. There's a lot more. You should get to know her. Miss Carly. Yay. This is who's next on our couch.
Hi.
Carly, love Carly. I've known her for a long, long, long time. Many of you may know she's the mother of two young boys, and she is a stay-at-home mom, but she also is a small business owner, started her own business this year, a wellness company, doing amazing things. And she also helps her husband run his small business. And so they are entrepreneur family. And so she brings so much to the table. So we're excited to hear from you, Carly. And next to her is Miss LATOYA Gordon. I love her. I've just gotten to know her so much. She's sort of the face of what you see for the Pamper Zone upstairs. That was her heart that God spoke to her last year at Adored, just to do something kind for you ladies. And so LATOYA, at the young age of, I'm not even telling you how young she is because she is young, but she is mighty. Oh my goodness, she is the director of a beauty school already. She went to school to study sports management on a scholarship in North Carolina, a volleyball scholarship. Notice her height. but then came back home, and she quickly took over a company within a system of beauty schools and is doing amazing things. And I just have to give her a shout out that she had what was your examiners were in, and it's very difficult for a beauty school not to come away with one infraction. You know how that goes, or two, none. This girl, she's doing great things. So I love that she's a young business person making a huge impact on the women in her world. So thank you for being with us, Toya. Get to know her too. She's amazing. Miss Christy Hadley, she is well known in our church, but also in the community. She is involved in everything. I can't, it's too many to name. But she also she's a Vice President at BCT Bank. She was recently awarded the Community Banker Award by her peers in the state of West Virginia. And she is involved in lots of local organizations, the mother of three teenager, two college-age girls, and you might see her here, but you'll see her everywhere in the community. She's at every business event. And then rounding out our panel is my good friend and colleague, Susan Snowden. Welcome her. She is newer to our airborne community. We're so glad to have her. She is one powerful woman. She's one of the nationally top-ranked litigation attorneys, and she works with Jackson and Kelly, and she is just a powerful businesswoman. Get to know her. She's taught me so much personally, and I know she has a lot to bring to the table. Mother of two, just became a grandmother, and she is the president of the Chamber of Commerce. She is the president of the Mountain State Apple Harvest Festival, and she's on boards after boards too. So just to let you know, I'm saying all that not to brag on them, but I am bragging, but these are the girls that are going to bring you a little bit of kindness and wisdom and how they do it today. So now we're going to have a conversation. So, hello, ladies.
Good morning. Awesome. So this all started about last month, maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago. We got together and we went out to dinner locally, and we decided to have a conversation about what kindness plus wisdom looks like in all these spheres, in our home, in our business place, in our community. And we just had a very real conversation that we thought we would share with you today. And I guess what we're just going to do is ask that question and give the girls liberty to pick that sphere that they want to touch most on today. Christy, let's start with you. Tell us what kindness plus wisdom looks like in your world.
Thank you, Pastor Beth. Well, as Mary Beth said, I really enjoy giving back to the community and serving in the community. But I like to do that strategically, that I know it's going to impact not only the community, but my family as well.
That's good.
Of course, ladies, we are mighty when it comes to, doing jointly together. So I love having the girls serve with me. Just this past week, Kate and I were serving at the Backpack. It was Day of Caring for United Way. We were over there bagging food. We do a lot with Children's Home Society. Children's area is very near and dear to me because they need an advocate. So as a woman, we take and nurture these individuals. So we'll serve breakfast, we have Christmas parties for them, but really just mentor these individuals who's coming from, try not to get teary, but they're not coming from a home where things are perfect, or not completely perfect, but just are not safe for them. So just getting the girls involved in those opportunities just really, makes it great. But the impact that we're having on these kids,
Christy, how has that impacted your children to watch that?
I love it. They really just get in. I get emotional.
It's
Sorry.
Okay.
I'll tell you a story. So I remember the first time that we've gone and had taken them to bag with the backpack program. And Taylor was in middle school at that time. And so these bags of food goes home and feeds, these kids on the weekend that normally they wouldn't have food. And after that bagging, she goes to school for the week, and she comes home because these get delivered to the kids on Friday, and she goes, "Mom, there was a kid in my class that got one of those bags that we put together. We have to continue helping because I can't imagine them not having food." So just to seeing the impact of how it's grown them to really want to give back and do more.
Right.
Just phenomenal.
I think that's a key point. I love when Christy said this, because a lot of times as businesswomen or moms, or just our schedules become full, and we think, I don't want to take time away from my family any more than my work day to go volunteer. I don't have that extra hour. But what Christy's exempling for us is take your kids with you.
Exactly.
Take your family
100%.
with you.
Yes.
Sow into them that spirit of generosity and that passion to want to be connected to their community. Don't let them see you doing it. Take them along with you.
Exactly.
Love it.
And the other thing to remember, if I can chime in, is we're not going to be perfect at what we do every time.
Right.
So on the day that you're a really good person in your office and you've been in court and done a great job, you may be a crap mom that evening, right? It just happens.
Yes,
Is there
it
anybody
does.
in here that's perfect? Because
Yes.
I'm not it. But when I listened this morning to Havilah speak, remember that we aren't supposed to be perfect 100% of the time.
Good.
Right?
Right, Susan.
So if you think, I'm just too tired to do this, maybe you are. And so recharge. Does that make you a bad person?
Right.
After a number of years, I've decided it doesn't.
Yes.
It really doesn't, right?
Right.
Isn't that what it's about? To establish those boundaries and know that it's okay for you to say no.
Yeah.
Now, I'm a person who used to say yes all the time. And when I first started saying no to folks, they didn't believe it. It was like, you didn't really mean that, right? Like, you will chair this committee. No, actually, I won't. I'll be glad to come. I'll be glad to participate, but I'm not going to chair it this time. So at the first couple times you set those boundaries, it's hard. But remember, we're not always going to be the mom, the worker, the community activist, and be 100% at that every time. And that's okay,
Yeah.
right?
Yep. That's
Just
such
don't
good
not do
advice.
it because you're afraid you won't succeed. Do it.
Absolutely.
Like she said, do it. If you fail, try again
Do it
and then
again.
succeed.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all
Really-
about just doing it, right?
Really, really good advice. I love that. And I feel like we're really hearing that this weekend. So thanks you for reiterating that, Susan. Abby, you do this well. You are a woman of boundaries. You really are. And maybe you could pick one of the areas and tell us what kindness plus wisdom looks like in your world.
I think, so maybe something I shared at the table just now was, a few years ago, I had a friendship where I loved this friend and constantly came up to me, you're just so busy. You're just so busy. And I decided busy wasn't a word that was going to be used to describe me. And so every time this friend would say, you're so busy, I'd look at my friend with a smile. I said, actually, my life is full. Yeah. So my life isn't busy, my life is full. God's given me an abundant life. Yeah. I'm not going to be defined as busy. Yes, I have a full-time job in leadership. I love that. God's put leadership calling on my life. I'm okay with that. My husband's okay with that. I have 2 boys. Like Havilah said, that's why I look depleted sometimes. Anybody knows my boys, that's just my life, you know? My life is full. Right. I love this church. We're here all the time. My life is full. We would have it no other way. That's our priority. My boys love sports. My life is full. Kind of like Christy said, she gives back to the community that way. And I just kind of want to put a shout out too. Maybe community service doesn't look like strategically going and volunteering at a specific community need. Right. For my husband and I, being a part of the community is literally being a part of the community. So being a part of football right now is being a part of the community.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So it's easy to show up to church, and we need to do that. We need to show up to church, but the community needs us to show up to the community. And when we coach basketball, because that's really my passion, football's fun, and I'm learning it. I'm rolling my eyes a little bit. My husband loves it, but when we coach basketball, like, we're investing in these kids. Right. And a lot of them don't have a mom and dad. Right. And the situations don't look pretty. And a lot of those families don't go to these organizations. Right. Yeah. And they need people. Yeah. So for my husband and I, that's a practical way to be the salt and the light.
Yeah, tell us what that looks like, Abs, as coaches, dealing with these children.
Really, I have to kind of shout out to my husband. So I have to work at the kindness, if I'm being honest, a little bit more. Anytime I describe my husband, the first word I use, and anyone that knows me, I'll say, I've married the kindest man alive. Any single ladies, you really need to prioritize kindness as a priority. Proverbs, I think it's 11:17 says, a kind man attracts favor. Wow. It's true, a kind man attracts favor. So if you're like looking at good looking, strong, rich, I think try to put kindness up there, but he just has this really attractive personality. People want to talk to him. Children are drawn to him. He's safe. And I'm kind of the crazy aggressive one, actually. But I'll say this. So I really feel led by the Holy Spirit in really crazy situations, and I've found that that's the wisdom aspect. So I feel like we're a great partnership where he draws people in, and then I'm like, babe, like that lady couldn't coach because she said she got news that she's sick. I need to go talk to her and pray for her. And he goes, all right, you do that. I'm gonna go coach. I was like, okay, this is so awkward. He's like, yeah, do it. So I'm no joking, this lady's sitting there, and I just go over and I say, hey, you said that you wanted to coach your son's basketball team, but you just couldn't. Can I just ask what's going on? And she proceeds to tell me that she got diagnosed with some type of cancer. And I just said, can I pray for you?
That's good.
So, discernment and wisdom, the Holy Spirit leads us if we let him. So if we let him. So I have to give that shout out. I work on the kindness. I actually have to be proactive and ask God to help me be kind. But I am intentional if I let him lead me in that.
That's good. I think that's important to bring up because honestly, if we're just going to be real, some of us have a bend toward one or the other. Some of us are great at the kindness, but the wisdom part, we need to pray more for wisdom, right? Where others are more about all the wisdom, but they have to remind themselves, like you, Abs, to be kind. And I love the way Jesus is described in the book of John. It says he walked in truth and grace. He walked in the fullness, not a balance of, but a fullness of the grace and the truth, the kindness and the wisdom, if you will. And I think if we could pray for something as we leave this conference is, God, give me the fullness of both. Give me the awareness of both. And where I need kindness, give me kindness. Where I need wisdom, give me wisdom. I love that. And I think everybody here is doing that so well. And LATOYA, I love you. Tell us something.
Which one now?
Tell us anything. Tell us anything.
I want you to tell them what you told us about how you wake up and what you tell God in the morning. I was just blown away.
I find that you need to start every day purposefully. When I wake up in the morning, that's when the enemy gets strong. And for me, I'm 35, I'm single, I don't have no kids, so it's, you'll be single, you'll never find nobody, you'll never have kids, you're not good enough, you're this, you're this, you're that. Nope, we're not gonna start the day like that. So I start with, God, thank you. How can you use me today to bless your people? How can I be a blessing to someone? And every day I ask him that. When I enter our beauty school, every day I ask, send a student, send a stranger, send a client, whatever you need to send to me, and use me how you want me to be used. And even with me asking him that every day, that's why I'm sitting right here talking to you all. He's using me to help you all, and he loves us so much. Me not being a parent, I know how much my mother loves me. And I know that she would give her life for me, just like any of you mothers would for your children. God loves us that much times a million. Yeah. So could you imagine if you woke up and asked your father who loves you that much for anything, and then if you're asking him to do what he created us to do, which is love one another and take care of one another and be kind to one another, that'll change the world. We live in such a depressing time. if you look at it from that perspective. But us as women, we are the strongest thing that God has ever put on this earth. We have babies, we run companies, we raise our husbands, and I don't even have one yet, and I know that. It's nothing. It is nothing any woman in this room cannot do if you do not put your mind to it. I met a lady yesterday upstairs, came to sign up for a massage, sweet as she wants to be. She's got 5 kids. She's working on she works 2 jobs, working on her 2nd degree. She's about to, took my breath away. I couldn't imagine doing that. But as women, we have that in us. We can do absolutely anything. She broke 2 toes and is wearing 6-inch stilettos sitting right here. I mean, So in that, in what God has created us as women to do, to give life, to love, to nurture, to take care of, why don't we do that to each other? Why don't we hug each other? Every day my mother calls me, phone rings, good morning, mommy, good morning, beautiful. Hey, gorgeous. That's where it starts at.
Is that where it starts at? Because I was going to ask you, where does that come from? Because if you
that lady in the back row.
Is your mama here?
Yes. Mommy, stand up, child.
Where's that mama?
Shout out, Lauren. Hey,
We love you. Because I'm sitting here thinking, where does that come from, LATOYA? Because you're one of those people, and if you know her, you'll agree. When you walk away from you, LATOYA, you feel better about yourself. And you have a gift for making women feel good for who they already are.
That's a prayer that I pray. You understand? At some point in time, I've realized how important of a role that I play is just being an individual, just being. Y'all have no idea sitting up here looking at me, what I've been through, where I come from. But despite all of that and all of our hardships, I don't choose to be a person because I was treated badly to treat other people badly. That's where it starts. Let's not allow this to spread like a cancer. We as women, it starts at home. If you're nice to your kids are going to be nice to their friends. If you're nice to your husband, he's going to be nice to his coworkers. If you're nice to the dog, he might not poop on the neighbor's lawn. Not saying you're not nice. Not saying that at all. That was just an example. But in that, as women, if we take the responsibility of kindness can change the world. And every day it starts with me. Even if I don't feel like it, even if I'm mad, even if I'm upset, even if I'm PMSing, even if I'm stressed, that's when you gotta keep pushing to it more, because that's when the enemy tells you, no, you're not that good. Oh yes I am, and let me show you, and I'm gonna let you sit there and I'm gonna do what I need to do.
You see what we're talking about, this girl. Toya, I look forward to the day she texts me. It's always, hi, gorgeous, hi, beautiful, hey, I mean, just, okay, say that. You're just, if you could just get her number, let her text you, okay?
Come on.
She'll be just encouraging you. Thank you. Oh, my goodness.
I feel like it's what we've been talking about as a sisterhood all year, is that kindness actually has to be bred in us, and it comes from a confident, secure place on the inside. That's where it all starts. Susan, I have a feeling you're thinking about something. Am I right?
I am. So I'm always thinking about something. Mary Beth's laughing. She knows it's true. You know, though, when we talk about kindness, don't forget, being kind doesn't mean you're weak.
That's right. Yes.
Being kind doesn't mean you're somebody's doormat.
Right.
Right? So be kind, but come at it from a position of strength.
Yes.
That's right.
Yes, so good.
Right.
So good.
So true.
Wow.
I know. Goodness.
Wow. Carly, let's hear from you, honey.
Yes.
Let me just say, I just think you're stunning. I've always have. I watch you dance on one hand and then raise boys on the other, and you've got a strength and a dignity about you at the same time. Tell us what kindness and wisdom look like in your world.
Oh, well, as I'm sitting here amongst all these different conversations, gosh, I can chime into every little bit. First off, I know exactly why God put you, not in sports management, but in the place that you're in, because, I mean, she runs a beauty school, so how many people go to the salon to vent or to be emotional? And she's there to, steer that. correctly. Kindness definitely means patience for me. I am raising toddlers, and it's super easy for me to get impatient in their moments of being young and vulnerable and having their, toddler moments. But it's not just, toddlers. It's in any avenue that I'm in. Starting a wellness business, or I've been in wellness now for over 10, 15 years. But and it's not just a wellness business. It's whatever career choice you take in or wherever God's put you. It's being patient and taking the time to step back and recognizing a need. Whether you work in a doctor's office and you've seen the charts of patients that have come in, you can be kind by just taking a moment out of your day to approach that person, or to pray for that person. That it's patience, because we can be busy. Our lives can be full. And when I'm thinking about that busyness, when we recognize that there is a need, where there is a will, there is a way. You know what I mean? We can become so overburdened or overfull, but when we recognize that, if we put will behind it, there's always a way. God's always going to make a way for you to have a window of opportunity to encourage somebody, to share with somebody. We talked a lot about sharing when we were together a couple weeks ago. If you know and you recognize that someone else is in need, or if you have something to share with them, please don't hold it back.
Right.
Step out of your comfort zone and share. I was thinking about the concept of a pack of gum, like if I'm ever with my girlfriends, and if I have a pack of gum in my hand, everybody, all the girls are like, hey, can I have a piece of gum? Like, it's just a simple concept of, hey, okay, now I can start a conversation with you, and I can encourage you, or, I can encourage you. You're just sharing kindness, or maybe I recognize something in their life that they need my support. They need my, advice on, and it's a conversation opener.
That reminds me of that night at dinner. LATOYA actually asked for the table to help her with a situation she was facing in work that was really difficult. Even as inspiring and confident as you are, you were facing something that was really weighing on you. Someone was really talking out against her integrity and her credibility just because she was doing what was right. But the sisterhood at that table that night, it was precious. It was awesome. We fed into her, we encouraged her, we gave her guidance. And what we realized that night was, hey, we need each other. Yeah. Why don't we do this more often? Why are the girls not talking more? Why are we not talking to girls younger than us and picking them up? Why aren't we looking up to women older than us and asking advice more? And we hope that this session too, this conference encourages you. Like Pastor Beth said, whatever it is that you need, when you see someone doing it well, go talk to them, learn what they're doing, learn little things from them. Put yourself under the wings of people, because that's really when the sisterhood is most powerful, I think.
And I think what I'd love for everyone to hear today is your presence matters.
Yes.
Your presence matters. And I just had this thought that, I spent a lot of my life as a passenger in my own life. A passenger, just kind of like a stowaway, hanging out along for the ride. But I'm just ready to be more intentional about my life. I'm ready to be the driver of my life. And in that, I'm saying your presence matters. Your presence matters at home. Can we just maybe be intentional about giving the people in our home our time and our attention? If we could give them eye contact, put the you-know-what down, and give our children eye contact, give them our presence, because it matters. If we can give our workplace eye contact and presence and voice, our voice matters. If we can give our community our presence like Christy's doing, and not doing it alone, but bringing her family along, her children along on the journey, we will have an amazing harvest of looking back and going, wow, my presence did matter. My voice mattered, my attention, and my integrity, it matters. Mary Beth, you learned a lot about integrity from your papa, from your daddy.
My dad, wow. I'll never forget one of the things he told me, so simple, but as a business owner, he was a business owner, an amazing man in our community. And, I would ask him for advice. And he would always tell me when I'm dealing with difficult people or dealing with a difficult, maybe business client, he said very simply, kill him with kindness. Kill him with kindness, Mary, he'd say. It doesn't matter. We've heard that. We heard it from Havlite, we've heard it from you. You are responsible for you, and you do you. You kill them with kindness. So the most difficult person in your workplace, the most difficult person in your home, maybe a difficult person in your neighborhood or community, you know what we do? We kill them with kindness. And my daddy lived that. Nobody ruffled his feathers. They could say whatever they wanted to say about him, and he put his shoulders back, and he had that smile on, and he walked proudly for who he was, and he kept just spreading kindness everywhere. And I think, like we talked about that night, everyone said, integrity, integrity, integrity. Be the same person at home as you are at work and in the community, but vice versa on all those. Be the same person you are at work, at home. Be you all the time. Be someone of integrity. That's what God is calling us as his disciples to be, to have integrity. And I think that, we also talked about this, and my dad was very careful with me as well, being a woman in business. Being a woman in business might open a door for you, but make sure that when you get in there that you show them what you have underneath of all that exterior. Yeah. There's something strong in you. There's something wise in you. And so I always, that's something I feel very strongly about, and what I feel like he, taught me that was the strength that I have isn't exterior. It may, like I said, it may open a door. It may cause someone to look. What we have as women, God gave us the feminine heart of God, but also the strength and the power we have from the Holy Spirit. I feel like when I go to a table of all businessmen, that I'm more powerful than any of them sitting there in a suit. I've got something that they don't have. I have that feminine heart, but I also have the wisdom. So just be careful, girls, and also use it, to be encouraged that you have those two tools to use in your world. And I think God is just calling us to steward them well. And I love what Susan said. Kindness isn't a doormat. Kindness is strong. Kindness is wise. Yes. And let's have people looking at us for more than what, designer clothes we're wearing, but because what comes out of our mouth, the words that we speak, and the feet that the do behind our life. So, yeah.
Our authority. Yeah. The authority that we have.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, you won't always do it right.
Right.
You won't always be the number one. You won't always win. With what I do, two great lawyers can walk into a courtroom, and we know before we walk in that one person will lose, right?
Right.
It's just how it works. And it's like that in life. But when you don't win, don't pout. Don't be the snowflake,
Right.
Get up, put on your big girl pants, and do it again.
Do it again.
And do it again, and do it again.
Do it again.
Don't let somebody else have that power over you, is what I'm saying to you.
And then you get more wisdom when you do it again, right?
Yeah.
With the workplace too, I just, when I got my job, this job that Mary Beth is talking about, I remember 3 months in, I was younger and I hated when everybody asked me, how old were you? I hated that question, how old are you? I'm like, why does it matter? Don't ask me how old I am, because it was a disqualifier. Right. That's what they were doing. I was a woman, that was already one disqualifier, right? And my age was the second disqualifier, and I hated that. And so my first staff lunching, like 2 months in, I was at the table, it was all women, my staff is all women, and the question came up. So I have to ask you we want to know how old you are. And I looked at them and I told them, and they're all significantly older. They've been in the job for almost 30 plus years. And I remember what one of my employees said. She looked at me and she said, I'm happy for you. I wish it could have been like that for me when I was your age. I would be where you're at right now. but I'm happy for you. And I could genuinely believe her. And she's my best employee. And I just want to encourage some ladies here, maybe it didn't happen for you, but could you keep pushing those glass ceilings for the rest of us? You know what I mean? We need that. We really do. We need that. And I just want to keep doing it for others. And so everything I do when I lead my staff, I mean, I fight for them. I really do. So my kindness maybe doesn't look like flowers. My kindness is like, you work so hard for me, I'm gonna do everything in my power to work hard for you. I mean, if there's a mistake in this office, it's on my name, not you. That's leadership, ladies. Like, you know, take one for the team. I'm just saying, like, kindness can look different. It doesn't always look like flowers. That's beautiful. But kindness is going to bat when it's hard. Kindness looks like that too.
Love that.
And have you ever noticed that the higher up you get, the fewer ladies are in the room?
Yes.
Does anybody else have that experience? The higher up you get, the fewer ladies are in the room. That's all I'm going to say. And so we can't let that happen, okay? That's why I say don't give up. Don't give up. I had an opportunity once. I got a phone call out of the blue, and I was asked to go serve on a board for a small private college. And the reason, I said I didn't go there. Why would you want me? Well, it was church affiliated. It was a faith-based school. And they said, all the gentleman that asked me said was, I think they could use somebody like you. And I thought, oh, that's a loaded question. Wonder what that means. And but all joking aside, when I walked in, I had done my research, but when I walked in, I knew what he meant. There was only one other woman in a room of 20-some people. And she was over 70. And everybody else was a 50 and up male Caucasian. That did not reflect the diversity in the school that they were running. And I remember sitting there thinking, God, this is way out of my wheelhouse, right? But you know what? I went on to serve 11 years there. And rose up to be one of the only women on their executive team. So I say that not because I'm saying, oh, wow, look at me. No, what I say is I felt like running. And after the first year saying, I don't want to do this because it was not in a good place. But when I left, it was a better place. And it was not the same room when I left, when I looked out among the sea of people, than it was when I went in. So every time you get the chance to be someplace new, I would encourage you to take somebody else along with you. If you can, make sure they're not like you. Right?
So the one thing that we talked about at that table that night was, as women, and we're going to be real today, sometimes can be judgmental about other women and the roles that they are and the workplace and the community and things like that. So just really being intentional about building one another up. It's not, bringing along those additional women, because as Susan said, a lot of times in our world, we are with a room full of gentlemen. And just making sure that we are being our true selves, making sure that they are aware that we are there for a purpose, but also just really getting the ladies and the young ladies, just making sure that they know that they have worth to themselves, just really being true to themselves. But again, not being judgmental as to why someone's in the role, just knowing that that's their place. And maybe you didn't get invited to that meeting, but that's okay because that's not where God has you at that time. Just really, God's putting certain ladies into certain places, and maybe that's not your time to be at that meeting, but just not being judgmental about what others are in their roles and their positions, just really encouraging them in the time that they are.
Yeah, I keep hearing that as an underlying theme, that how important is it that we're cheering one another on? Let's hear it for the girls. Let's hear it for the girls. I think if we had a sisterhood behind us, cheering us on, there is no telling what God can do through you and through your world. So let's be that one who's cheering each other on. We've got just a few minutes remaining, and I thought it would be fun if we just went down the line and said, let's just throw out in 10 seconds or less, give us an idea of what a random act of kindness looks like for you. Who wants to go first?
I love chocolate.
Okay.
So anyone that has worked with me or does work for me will tell you that I keep chocolate in my office. So I love to give little gifts to individuals. And so DeFlores is a big fan of mine. So I love giving chocolate and just maybe a little note. I also have these little stickers that are yellow that says you're awesome because, and it's got things and just tells somebody why they're awesome. So my staff loves it because I give them chocolate and little awesome notes. So
I love it. Who wants to be Christy's friend now? Chocolate all around. Susan, how about you?
The things I had that I talked to Mary Beth about, I changed my mind this morning after Havilah spoke. No, really, because, and I said this backstage, something that you can do that's so simple, go to the dollar store, pick up a pack of note cards, put them on your desk, put them in your cubicle, put them at your desk at home, beside your bedstand. And as you have someone's mind, and flit through your mind, you know, that today I think about Mary Beth, write a handwritten note.
I like it.
And mail it. Do you know how rare that is that somebody gets, and I know this sounds corny, but I keep a big Ziploc baggie full of different kinds of note cards. And when I'm bored or stressed out or anxious, I'll just go write somebody else a note.
Awesome.
And if you know somebody that's ill or somebody that's been through a divorce that's still maybe a year out from it, just write them a little note. You know, everybody's there in the first couple months, but who's there the year after? Who's there the year after the cancer has gone and you know you're looking at how many years before you reach that safe zone, right? Just write them a little note. When was the last time you got a handwritten note?
Yeah.
And can I just say that sometimes you don't have to be going through anything to need a note from Susan.
And
I got one from her one day, and it was random, but it was like, oh, I really needed that. And so, you know, the person doesn't even have to, if someone comes to your mind, write them a note. And I mean, you don't know them. That person may not appear to have anything going wrong, but you don't know. They may need that encouragement. Thank you
Just
for that
a note that says, you know what? I was thinking about you. Thanks for all you do.
By the way, if you weren't here last night, we have those notes for you. So if you weren't here last night, you can pick one up somewhere. I'm going to say guest services. There's a supply, and you can get your little tool for doing exactly what Susan's talking about. And I love this about you, Susan. You're a strong woman, but you have a tender, soft heart. You're the whole package, my friend. I love that about you. Who wants to go next?
We were talking about judgment with women. I think that it's important that the way we carry ourselves and our body language is, we should keep it open, and we should always be approachable. We need to make sure that we're not quick to judge that person's situation, but we're very quick to offer them peace and patience and all of those good fruits. If you see somebody in the grocery store that might be struggling or in need of some assistance, like a mom with screaming children, maybe me, I don't know. I don't know what it is about like Walmart, they just turn into like, I think they're possessed when they reach through the store, but anyway, maybe it's just my children. Okay, so offer that mother peace, not the sneer or the eye of like, why did she just snap? Right? Go ahead and just load her groceries onto to the belt, or help her. I mean, she might like turn into Mama Bear, like, okay, get away from my babies, but she also might really, really appreciate it. I can't tell you how many grandmothers and the mothers of new mothers that have just said, I remember what it was like those days, you know? And that just goes, I'm not alone. Yeah. Offer her peace, offer her help. Help is great.
That's beautiful, Carly.
Yeah.
Remember, I have to be real intentional.
Chief Abby.
Remember? Yeah. So I really, this is the way I do this. I really ask the Holy Spirit, how do you see people? And when he shows me that instead of being quiet about it, even if I don't know them, I actually say what he tells me to say to that person. So that's prophetic. It's without being weird. You know what I mean? Like, thus saith the Lord upon you. Okay, so I'm not telling you to practically go, thus saith the Lord, you have something in your teeth. Anyways, right? Okay, but help a sister out. If a stranger has something in their teeth, girlfriend, tell them.
Please.
That's kind.
That is kind.
All right? That might be direct, but it's kind. So that really is something that, it's a simple way of like learning to hear God's voice and acting on it. And then I feel like he just speaks more and more. So that's just an easy way of being kind. God's never going to tell you bad things about people. He has a good heart for people. He only has good things for people. And so I just love to hear what God has to say about his people. And then practically, I know this is silly, who goes to Aldi's? The coveted quarter. Yeah? I do not keep my quarter, y'all. I let other people get my quarter. And you would not believe the smiles I get when I say, here's my cart, and they try to give me their quarter. I'm like, oh, I don't want your quarter. Have a great day. That is good. And I'm going to share one other thing from a mom's perspective. When you're at the football field or whatever, Asher always brings toys, and a toy always gets broken, and a mom is always stressed over that. And you know what I always say? It's really okay. We can't take anything to heaven anyway. Asher never cries when a toy is broken. He never cries on a toy, because I always say, it's okay. Can't take it to heaven anyway. So A, they know I believe in heaven. And B, my kid is never overreacting. And C, I bring snacks everywhere. All the kids love us, and they eat all our food.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Act of kindness, Toya.
So many. A little bit backstage, we were talking. So one of the things I like to do, I think I have a childlike spirit a lot of ways. I'm a superhero in my mind, okay?
I agree.
So my superpower is the power of prayer. Because through prayer, I can do anything. I can be the strongest, the fastest, the smartest, the whatever I need to be through prayer. So when I'm driving down the street to work, as someone's walking on the sidewalk, or if I'm at a light and I see somebody homeless or somebody struggling out or somebody overdosing or somebody prostitute, because you know that's what it is out there. Instead of me judging this person or thinking negative or they shoulda, or if that was me or I would never, let me pray, God bless this person. Whatever it is they're going through.
Beautiful.
Whatever's going on.
Beautiful.
And in doing that, it's two things. One, it's something private between me and God. And number two, you can help so many people with that. I don't know if a lot of you women know, but 10 weeks leading up to this, Pastor Beth invited some of the women just to come and pray. It's women that people have been praying for every single one of you for 10 weeks now.
Yeah.
Beyond that, but I know, because I've been at 10 weeks going strong, we've been thanking God in advance for the miracles he's already doing. Thanking God in advance for those women who want to be pregnant, who are going to find out they're pregnant after this. Thanking God for that, those who are not employed to be employed after this, to get healing, to get love, to feel restoration, whatever it is you came to get. We have been praying for you already. That's how strong prayer is. So I feel like that's one of the biggest things that we can do, but it's so small. No one has to know you do it. You don't have to be embarrassed. You don't have to change nothing you're doing. You can have a full life. You can have nothing going on. You can be at the grocery store. Pray for the woman as you waiting in line. Pray for the people behind you. When you're at the light, pray for the person giving you the finger, whatever the case may be. And it works, you know. It really works. And then sometimes it works to help you out. You know what I mean? A lot of times, us doing for others heals us so much more.
Yes.
Our students are here doing the massages and the manicures for you all, and they're having a phenomenal time doing it. And one of the things everybody told me yesterday before they left, Miss LATOYA, it's so much fun. So many people have told me, like, you know, this is my first manicure, this is my first massage, and it makes them feel good to make you all feel good. You know what I mean? So it's just all the way around. It's just absolutely phenomenal. So I would say just be kind and pray.
I love it. LATOYA, you're such an intentional person.
Agreed.
Do you love her?
I love you.
Well, as I was saying earlier, for mine, I have 3 children, as a lot of you know, and 2 of them are grown and married, but I still am blessed to have a 4th grader at home. And like I said, in my later years, I am being more intentional. And so for me, my little random act of kindness is in his lunchbox every day. I write a little note. It's on a little Post-it note that says, "You're a champion. I'm on your side. I'll always love you no matter what." So that in his day at school, he gets to open up that Post-it note. And I used to wonder what they meant to him. And then just recently, I found a whole pile where he's collecting them. And so for me, that's my little intentional act of kindness in his life. Anybody else who didn't share?
I didn't share. For me, it's just words. Words are like, I guess that's a gift that God's given me, but I feel like I always have words for people. I just love to encourage people, and I just think we need to open our mouth more, girls, and just find ways to encourage each other. And whether it's just, hey, your hair, I always notice when somebody's got a new hairdo, a new shirt, a new whatever, but I love to encourage people, and so I love to give my words, and also to strangers. Like if I am in the grocery line and that girl seems stressed, I try to tell her she looks good, or I like your hair, or do I know you? People need conversation. People need, like you said, your presence, that eye contact. That's so little. You don't have to have any money to give words. They're free.
Yeah.
They are free. And we got a whole bunch of them in our vocabulary. Let's use our words,
Yeah.
And like you said, kindness has to happen at home. And now some people might think I did this and it was I was doing something that a mother would do, that a daughter should do. But last week, Lexi, my daughter, has been working so hard on things to get ready for Adored in many different ways, and I'm so proud of her. And let's be real, her room was a mess. And it was driving me crazy, number one, because her clothes, I couldn't even see the room floor anymore. And I kept telling her, honey, you really need to make time, because I can't walk into a room like that. It makes me feel, like I need, not that I'm not a neat person, but I thought, you know what? I'm gonna bless her. She's my daughter, and I wanna do something kind for her. So she came home from practice for Adored, dance practice one day late last night. I said, honey, let's go up to your room. I wanna show you something, or I don't know. I had to lure you up there, didn't I? And I had the candles burning. I had put all her clothes away. I made her bed. And I said, I know you have a really full week next week, and I wanted to do something where you could come into your room and you could just feel peace and feel like you could do your homework for college. And I know you can do it. You're an adult, and you should do it. But you know what? It felt good. I love doing that for my girls. Sometimes I'm really intentional about everybody else, but my family misses out. So I felt good. I felt good that I did that for you.
Did you hear her say that boundary? You should do it.
Right.
I heard that.
I love it. Thanks for sharing that. That's awesome. Like I said, you guys have brought so much to this table. Any leftover thoughts, real quick?
I had a thought. She said words, and we
Words.
talked a lot about words of wisdom and sharing, and please, please, please share all the time.
Yeah. I think the bottom line is, what we want you to hear today is your presence matters. Your integrity matters. Your voice matters. So that's probably the end of this amazing conversation, and I just believe we've planted a lot of seeds, and I'm grateful for it.
I just want to encourage them too. This conversation, we had such a good time at the table talking. We don't normally, a couple of us run in the circles together or whatever because of our kids and family, but get girls together and just talk.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to be a Bible study. Doesn't have to, if you're at the ball field, whatever it is, gather the girls. Be a gatherer.
Yeah.